Revolution! What the Tinubu administration is doing to us, and Akpabio is leading the National Assembly to do, is that they want to reverse our independence.
I have been particularly loud in stating that if the Senate gets away a provision that is ambiguous, that gives power of discretion to determine the ifs and the buts, instead of making the clause mandatory that every vote must count in this country.
Tinubu is going to cause a revolution to happen in this country. Yes. And we are here to deliver it, the judgment that they have been waiting for.
Yes.
Nothing. The system has really collapsed where we are. We cannot even vote for the past maybe 16 years. People impose themselves on us through godfathers and money.
Nigeria is ours. Yes. The office of the citizen is greater than the office of the president. Yes.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News Gist and Blog. I stumbled across this particular video during the plenary or protest, let me just put it that way. Protest of electoral transmission of results that the Akpabio and the APC cabals refused to sign into law. I stumbled across this particular speech of Mr. Adewale, the former SDP presidential candidate. And I want you guys to listen to the eloquent words that this man said in this particular video. We'll be right back.
What the Tinubu administration is doing to us, and Akpabio is leading the National Assembly to do, is that they want to reverse our independence. That independence we labored, our forefathers obtained from the British. They want to become black-skin imperialists. And how are they doing it? They have no skill in governance. They've shown that already. But they don't want to leave the scene. And they want to make election to be an empty ritual where the citizen knows that I am just coming there like a prop in a movie. I don't count. The script is already written. And that is why President Tinubu said when he was coming, the power is not begged for. You don't beg the people for power. You go and grab it like a pickpocket, like an armed robber. You grab it, you snatch it, and you run with it. We are gathered here as citizens who are concerned about what is going on in the country. What we are discussing is not politics. We are discussing citizenship. What the National Assembly is seeing today, with all of us in front of them, is what they ought to be seeing every day. There is no parliament you go in the world where the citizens are not found in the gallery and around the parliament making one case or the other. So this is not a protest. This is participation in democracy. And many more Nigerians should make this a daily activity. Whether you are concerned about water, air quality, education, whatever is the subject matter that concerns you for that day, you have a right to come here and remind our constitutional representatives that they have zero power except the power they are exercising on our behalf. That's number one. Number two, what we need to understand is that we have a history of people rigging elections. But what the present administration is doing, and the National Assembly is enabling them to do, is that they are not content to rig elections. They want to rig the rules of the election. They want to make election rigging part of the law. So what we are fighting for is not just one clause in one bill. We are fighting for the principle of freedom. And the citizen of Nigeria, in his mind, will do nothing. What we want them to know is that we can lose on the issue of governance, because we know that next time a better government will come. We can lose on the mismanagement of our resources. We know that when we hold elections, we will correct it. What we cannot lose is our sovereignty. We cannot lose our sovereignty. We cannot be a people who are not free in our land.
Right.
So this movement for credible election is not a political movement. And don't assume, because Nigerians have a Messiah problem, don't assume that there will be Obiese Kwesele coming to fight for you tomorrow. There will be Israel Buba fighting for you tomorrow. This is not how you are going to be free. How we are going to be free is that as we are doing it here, you do it in every part of your community.
Yes, sir.
If you lead a church, you make it a sermon. If you lead a mosque, you make it a sermon. Wherever you are, if you are a leader of a community, because there are 3 principles implicated in what we are discussing. Our government is saying through our law that we are dishonest people, that we cannot do anything fairly. And we have been doing that to our people for a long time. A student who goes to write an entrance examination is not sure that what he does in the exam will determine the outcome. A person who goes to work doesn't believe that what he does at work will determine his remuneration or promotion. Everything we do in our society, our leadership, have made dishonesty a national character. And Nigerians, we are not dishonest. It is a dishonest leadership that we have.
Yes.
Secondly, that we cannot be fair and just. Already, the government has taken over all the resources of the country. They've appropriated all the wealth of the country to themselves. They have captured all the governors and people elected for the variety that they brought in the election. They've now approximated and unified everything into one singularity to serve one man, one system. Now, they want to make election a foregone conclusion. And this is a country where the government says they have arrested coup plotters, and that the coup plotters will face death sentence, life imprisonment, other punishments. And the government itself is a coup d'etat. So we cannot allow for them to assume that we are quiet. And let me tell them, what we are doing here today is our right.
Yes, sir.
And is our love for the country we are expressing.
Yes, sir.
They cannot be too sure that every part of Nigeria will continue to wait and protest peacefully like this. So the earlier they abandon that attempted coup and do the right thing, the best for the country. As it is today, our president is being supervised from Washington on how to be a commander-in-chief. And is being supervised from France on how to manage the economy.
How to collect us.
Does he want to be supervised from abroad on how to conduct elections? India has 10 times of our voting population. They don't even discuss free and fair election anymore, because it is an insult to the Indian spirit that you would think the election is not fair. So this is the last time there will be a crowd that will come out to discuss free and fair election. It should be part of our national expectation and our natural habit.
Yes.
So there's a long speech here, or long 21-point statement. That statement will be shared to the press. Deem it as read, because there are other leaders here. But the conclusion I will make is that what we are also doing here is a spiritual exercise.
Yes, sir.
Because you can lie to yourself, you cannot lie to your God.
Yes.
Yes.
So you cannot say, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity, uphold our honor and glory, so help me God. Why are you asking God to help you if you are not honest? Why do we start National Assembly with a prayer? House will start with a prayer, end with a prayer. Senate will start with a prayer, end with a prayer. Federal Executive Council will start with a prayer, end with a prayer. But in between, everything is a lie. We cannot be like that. So I plead with the government, they should realize that they are ordinary people like us, and that the government seat is a barber's chair. You sit there, they barb your hair, another person sits there, they barb his hair. It does not belong to anybody. Therefore, they should not set the country on fire. They should not assume that after a few days, we are going to get tired. It's not going to happen.
It's just the beginning.
Secondly, they should not assume that they will remain there if elections are not held. An election will not be held under a law that is already a burglary of the vote. So I plead with you all and the media, be on the side of the people. Don't confuse issues. Don't say there's a clause there, there's an argument there. I've been listening to morning shows, evening shows. Journalists don't understand simple English anymore. Even though someone have PhD in English, they have PS in communication, they are confusing things. It is not everything that is money, that is commerce, advertising. No, you need to have a country. I served in Liberia after the war as a United Nations appointed commissioner, and ECOWAS appointed commissioner. It doesn't matter whether you are editor-in-chief, chief justice. If you don't have a country, if you have lawlessness, if you have anarchy, you are just a simple refugee anywhere else in the world. And this country, God wants to answer our prayer. Why don't we want to be honest? Let us be honest, and I say God bless Nigeria. Thank you all.
Whoa!
Immediately he made this remarkable speech. I was overwhelmed. When he speaks, the world echoes, the world listens. Everybody remains silent to hear the words that this man speaks. His words don't fall on anything ground. These are people who should occupy Aso Rock, men with brains, though words can't also do it all. But I also want you guys to listen to this particular speech of Mrs. Ezekwesili, what she also said in the same protest ground, and I want you guys to listen to her. We'll be right back.
I have been particularly loud in stating that if the Senate gets away with a provision that is ambiguous, that gives power of discretion to determine the ifs and the buts, instead of making the clause mandatory that every vote must count in this country. Yes. And that the way that our votes will count is to have this mandatory provision that makes it the core principle of our electoral transparency, that no longer shall our votes be subject to the kinds of TPEX cancellations of results that we saw on the EC8A in previous elections. And so we as citizens are saying, stop any coup against this democracy. Stop it. The National Assembly must realize that they were, well, majority of them were probably not voted in. I wanted to say they were voted in. But it is exactly what they have done all these decades, how many decades now of our democracy? 2 decades of our democracy. It is what they have done that they want to sustain. The only reason they don't want transparency through the mandatory provision for there to be instant, real-time, electronic transmission of the results from the EC8A to the IREV is because they want to continue to capture our democracy for the pillaging of the Nigerian state. The society is laboring under the weight of poor governance that we have seen so far in our democracy. And now the citizens are saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. There is no reason why people who call themselves Democrats would hate transparency. No reason. Do you hate transparency? No. Do the citizens of Nigeria hate transparency? No. Why then would the people who say that they are the Democrats hate transparency? It can only be for one reason. They do not want democracy. These ones are enemies of democracy. If they should pass any kind of law that does not make mandatory transmission without any proviso to it, because what they are pretending to society now is that they have passed, that what they have agreed is mandatory transmission. It shall. But then, after they said that, they removed all of it.
That is a bot.
They removed all of it by already putting in many other things that will become the norm. I can tell you that because I did the reform of the of the procurement system in this country. Everywhere that they put any provisos became the norm. The proviso will become the norm. You see, they are already planning and saying that should something fail, why are you making a law that is saying that there will be failure? Why are you introducing network failure and all other things that are extraneous to any law? Every law of a country is very clear without ambiguity. And what they have done is to already they're basically preempting us for the fact that they are planning to do exactly the provisos that they have put to that clause. Is that what we should take? No! Should Nigerians who have been battered by this democracy be accepting this kind of a provision? No! Then it is important that every one of us should tell every one of us that this is wrong. If these people pass an INEC bill, an INEC reform bill that already has programmed the rigging for them, if they pass that kind of a bill and they dare to take it to the president for assent, then we should know that both the legislature as well as the executive have decided that the Nigerian people don't matter. Do you matter?
We matter.
Do you matter?
Yes.
Well, if you matter, then you should be standing your ground. They do not own our democracy. Democracy belongs to who?
All of us.
No, you have to tell me. Don't say us, because you could be part of them. You could be part of them that are wanting to do the wrong thing.
Exactly.
So democracy belongs to who? The people. Democracy belongs to the people. It does not belong to a few politicians that have rigged themselves into political offices and now wanting it to lord it over the country. This country is not for those people. Have we not had enough?
We have had enough.
It's time to end it. Let me tell you, the most important provision in that bill today is this electronic transmission. Because in the past, nobody knew what was voted in polling units across the country. And that was what enabled them to now do collation that was a wayo collation. It got to the point where I even had to begin to put out things in pidgin English just so that Nigerians who say they don't understand this complexity can understand it. It is that important. If you don't care about yourself, at least care for the generation that is coming from you. Because you may be thinking that you are okay right now, but you're not okay. You're not okay if the generation that will come from you will not be okay. Because until you get good governance in this country, the child of the poor is stuck for life. Do you want your children to be stuck for life? No. Your grandfather handed poverty to you. Yeah? Your grandfather or your great-grandfather, as a matter of fact, handed poverty to your grandfather. Your grandfather handed poverty to your father. And now your father has handed poverty to you. And now you're preparing to hand poverty over to your children? Is that what you're trying to do? No. Well, let me tell you, if we don't get this transparency in the electronic transmission on a mandatory clause, then let me tell you, and you know me, I don't waste my word. I state it the way it is. Let me tell you, if you don't fight for this clause, you're basically saying it is okay for you to hand poverty to your own children and for your children to hand it to their own children. Well, if it is God forbid, you will get more Nigerians to stand and say, we resist this. These people are not greater than us. If we act collectively, this thing will be won. Are you ready to win this? Yes. If we don't win it today, we must get ourselves ready. All of the people that call themselves elected people in this country, from the president to all of them, we will stand against them. We will stand against them. I said we will stand against them. So my summary is this, for you the media, you must let it
into power. So don't say he was elected.
Continue,
I want you to just know that the summary point this morning is that we, members of the credible election team, have come today to let it be known that any election that lacks credibility will not be acceptable to the Nigerian people.
Yes.
2027 must not mark the end of our democracy. Because if the people that have put themselves into office dare to test the will of the Nigerian people, we will let them know that in collective action we will stand against them. We will confront their nonsense, because citizens have had enough of this nonsense. Just look at Nigerians are killed without there being any consequence. How are you going to continue to agree to that? I was saying recently that nobody even talks about the fact that there is no power in the country. No electricity. Nigerians have adjusted themselves to that failure. Is it correct? No. It shouldn't be. And so my final word to you is, state it clearly. The text that the House of Representatives passed, is that not the text we want? Yes. That text that the House of Representatives passed, electronic transmission, real time and mandatory, not subject to any discretion by INEC or anybody. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Now you listen to what she said. I also want you guys to listen to what Showore said. We'll be right back.
When Tinubu came into power, Tinubu is going to cause a revolution to happen in this country. Yes. And we are here to deliver it, the judgment that they have been waiting for. Yes. Nigerian people, yes, sir, beyond just the transmission electronically of results, we still have a lot of bad people to deal with. And as we are making these demands, we must also be demanding for the termination of the era of impunity and the terrible politicians that have been holding us to ransom. Absolutely. You all know, and you don't have to argue with me about this, that there's nobody in the National Assembly that would have won an election if it was free and fair. Nobody. Yes. In fact, Akpabio never won the primaries of his party. That's right. Lawan never won the primaries of his party. And Tinubu couldn't have become the president of Nigeria if elections were transmitted transparently. Yes. So they are protecting themselves, and we have a duty to protect ourselves. Yes. We have asked them that these are minimum irreducibles. Just asking you to transmit election results, you are not doing us a favor. Because Nigerians have a bigger plan than the transmission of the results. And that is after the results are transmitted. If we do not agree with the position of the results, we will transmit the people into oblivion in our own time. And the last thing I will say, the National Assembly has its time now to pass the law that mandatory is the word, so that there's no lawyer, no judge who is interpreting the votes of the Nigerian people in their millions, with 7 people at the Supreme Court. But let them pass the law that says mandatory transmission of election is compulsory in real time, and on our part we will find the network to make it happen. Thank you very much, Nigeria. Thank you so much. Revolution.
Now, the part of Showore is really funny, because Showore just wants this country to divide. Not divide, I mean, he just wants all the bad leaders with revolution to buy. Like the normal revolution that have been happening across the world. Anyway, before he shout revolution, they already cut him, say, I got the rest. You want revolution. Well, it is what it is that this APC tyrant has nothing meaningful to offer to this country. And it will be like a movie in your eyes, like the way this Akpabio and the Kabas are going. They just want to remain in power while they do nothing. It wasn't different from what the Tanzanian president, that lady, what she did, is ready to sacrifice half of his country as long as he remains in power. Not talk about the Cameroon, not talk about the other country, Uganda. You see how old people will be in power. They are doing nothing, but they just want to remain there. And you will see some gullible people or the citizens supporting them. Anyway, I want you guys to listen to this particular video of Prophet Issa Ibuba. What he said in all of this. We'll be right back.
Nigeria is ours. Yes. The office of the citizen is greater than the office of the president. Yes. Enough is enough. Yes.
All this grammar. I have traveled across this country, 740 local government. Nigeria has over 96% coverage in terms of network. Why should I be afraid? Why should you be afraid? Transmit result real time. We don't want any jabba jabba language. Straight 2027. There will be no room for the judiciary to manipulate and decide who governs us. What I want to say, the Bible says God has not given us the spirit of fear. Nigeria, no fear. They want you to be afraid. They want to threaten you. They want to run this nation into one party state. It will never happen. We have prayed and it is time to act. That's why I am here. You can see me on slippers. I dropped out of the car driving to Jos to stand with Nigerians. It is time. We must fight for our rights. We must fight for our rights. As long as righteous people keep quiet, wickedness will continue to prosper. So what we're saying today, whether it is Senator Akpabio and all your cliques, your end has come. If you do not adjust and agree with what the Nigerians are asking, I can tell you, study the history of this country. The end of the wicked has come. That is standing on the righteous position of the God who made the heaven and the earth. Now Nigerians, I want to ask you a question. You lost over 100 people in Kwara, and every Nigerian is moving as if no soul has been lost. Nigeria should be mourning now. Nigeria should come to a standstill. Hey, Nigerians, it's time to come out of our comfort zone and get on the street. Now let me say this in closing. This is the beginning of the fight. No retreat. No retreat. No retreat. Until we all see the new Nigeria. And we will see the new Nigeria. Congratulations, Nigerians.
Now, let me call the spade a spade. I really don't want to elaborate or expatiate or talk more about this video. You already listened to every words of these people, Mr. Adewale, Mrs. Ezekwesili, Mr. Showore, and now Mr. Ebuba, and the rest that have spoken. Nigerians are only asking for one thing. Let our vote count, transfer our result or transmit our result right from the polling unit to the server so that the world will see. Now that the former INEC chairman Yakubu Mamodu said that the electoral beavers can easily transmit results right from the polling unit, even without internet. Immediately you send it, it will be on the air. Anywhere there is internet, if you like have the data in 10 years, or anytime when data enter that this thing, oh yeah, automatically it will upload. It will be more safer. How is it going to be safer? Once this result is concluded, all polling unit agents will sign. They say we take a photocopy of that result before the INEC representative will snap it and upload it to the server. That's all. But Akpabio, knowing fully well that they don't mean well for Nigeria, they are ready to ring. They said they will never do that. Now, they are not saying they will not do it, but they are trying to connect the whole issues and say that we will transmit results. But in case we transmit it, there is no internet, we will not count it with our tongue. 1, 2, 3. That was when Nigeria said no. They already counted it. There's nothing you go and count again. So just transmit the result and let everybody see it. And they say, no, there should be an alternative. Oh, as if they are doing Nigeria a favor. Anyway, this particular story, we'll try and make a separate videos like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, so that you guys will understand. I've been unable to follow it up from beginning simply because I was on vacation and I couldn't lay hands on any trendy videos except the video that I made on ground before I traveled. I was just in the hotel room, you know, editing 1 or 2 videos and post, but I couldn't make real-time video. And because they pay me, I couldn't make any latest updates. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for your support, for your watching, for commenting, for liking, for everything that I've been doing on this platform. But I promise you guys that henceforth we'll try and follow it up. But this particular story of electoral transmitting of result and ringing of Akpabio and the plans to remain in office even without them doing nothing, we'll follow it up. I love you guys. God love you more. Until we meet again. Peace out.
It's keeping us and giving us hope is this democracy.
That's right.
Nothing. The system has really collapsed where we are. We cannot even vote for the past maybe 16 years. People impose themselves on us through godfathers and money. We want to change the narrative. We want to take away the almajiris from the streets. We don't want them to be using our people to recruit Boko Haram and shout Allahu Akbar when they are slaughtering people. We don't want it to continue. This democracy is our hope. We have to bring good people.
Giving them appointment letter as city boy ambassadors to mobilize. Can they mobilize the real masses of Nigeria? I mean, they pauperize Nigerians. I mean, Nigerians that have been subjected to abject poverty in this country. Is it the same Nigerians that your tax law is waiting for? 25% of every payment you make should be paid to the federal government. That is, if I am paying you 1 billion naira, 25% will be deducted and paid to the federal government, so that they will embezzle the more. Do you know that if you are doing transfer now, once you die star 996 to transfer money, they will charge you automatically 6 naira. The money is going to Tinubu. This man is taxing Nigerians to hell. Remove fuel subsidy. People are suffering. Subjected all of us to abject poverty. You have the governors, you have Supreme Court Chief Justice as your sister that will affirm the election for you. You are still afraid of the masses. This one should be food for thought for all politicians. It's not about having the power, having the police, the army, having INEC, having 30 governors. The masses, these people, they are our employees. We employ them. The Nigerian masses are the employer. They are working for us. Supposedly they should be serving us, so they shouldn't be afraid. The Nigerian masses are saying that we have suffered enough. From Monday to Friday, you don't have savings. From 1st to 30th, no savings. Everybody is struggling to survive, struggling to make ends meet. And you think you want to come and subject us to another 4 years of abject poverty? And we are saying no. We are saying our vote must count. Because good leadership begins with credible election. It begins with when the people have the power to select who should be their leader. That's where it begins. So the masses are saying that electronic transmission of vote will, to a reasonable extent, guarantee free and fair election. So give it to Nigerians. Then let us wait. On the election day, when INEC will not come and tell us that it's glitches, and you see how whether we will not set this country on fire. Within the ambits of the law, we'll put this country on fire as the law permits us. Even the INEC chairman that was recently appointed by Tinubu on the recommendation of his brother Faleke has also come out to say that he does not have control of network. That is sign of failure. That is sign of malpractice. That is sign of telling you that he's dancing the tune of Akpabio, the tune of Ojo Zakalu, who shamelessly said that he does not have network in his village. That is after 20 years of GSM, a former governor and a senator.